Throughout the history of television game shows, audiences have witnessed countless moments of triumph, disappointment, unexpected humor, and genuine human emotion. These programs serve as mirrors reflecting the values, dynamics, and complexities of the families who appear on them, offering viewers a glimpse into how people interact under pressure and in pursuit of shared goals. What transpired during a Family Feud taping in December 2024 would become a defining moment in the show's long history, a stark reminder that how we treat those closest to us reveals our true character, and that some behaviors are so fundamentally unacceptable that they cannot be overlooked regardless of the setting or circumstances. If you believe that family deserves respect and that accountability matters even in entertainment contexts, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because this story illustrates why treating loved ones with dignity is not optional, and why one man's pattern of disrespect led to consequences that would resonate far beyond a television studio. The Morrison family from Minneapolis, Minnesota arrived at the Family Feud studio with an energy that immediately caught the attention of production staff, though not in the positive manner that typically characterizes enthusiastic contestants. The family consisted of 45-year-old Derek Morrison, his wife Linda, his mother Alina, his adult daughter from a previous marriage Ashley, and his younger brother Marcus. From the initial interactions during the preparation sessions, it became evident that Derek Morrison operated with a communication style that centered entirely on his own opinions and perspectives, demonstrating little regard for the thoughts or feelings of his family members. Derek Morrison had built a moderately successful career in commercial real estate, an achievement he referenced frequently and used as apparent justification for his dismissive treatment of others. During the pre-show briefing with producers, Derek interrupted his wife Linda multiple times when she attempted to contribute to the conversation, spoke over his mother Alina when she offered suggestions about game strategy, and made several condescending remarks to his daughter Ashley about her recent career choices. The production staff exchanged uncomfortable glances, accustomed to seeing competitive family dynamics, but recognizing that Derek's behavior crossed beyond healthy competition into something more troubling. Linda Morrison, a kind-faced woman of 42 who worked as a pediatric nurse, displayed a practiced patience when her husband interrupted or dismissed her, a patience that spoke to years of accommodating his behavior. Alina Morrison, at 71 years old, carried herself with dignity despite her son's disrespectful tone when addressing her. Ashley Morrison, 23 and recently graduated from college, visibly tensed each time her father spoke to her, her body language revealing the long-standing nature of their difficult relationship. Marcus Morrison, Derek's younger brother at 41, seemed resigned to his siblings' domineering personality, offering little resistance but also showing no enthusiasm for Derek's leadership of the family team. Steve Harvey, with his extensive experience reading family dynamics and interpersonal tensions, noticed the concerning patterns immediately upon meeting the Morrison family. During the introductions on stage, Steve engaged each family member individually, asking about their lives and interests with the genuine warmth that had made him beloved by contestants and audiences alike. When he spoke with Linda about her nursing career, Derek interjected to make a joke about how little money nurses make compared to his own income. When Steve asked Alina about her background, Derek answered for her, not allowing his mother to speak for herself. These moments occurred within the first few minutes of the family being on stage, and Steve's expression shifted subtly, his awareness sharpening as he recognized he would need to navigate this family dynamic carefully. The Morrison family competed against the Chen family from Sacramento, California, a warm and supportive group whose interactions with one another provided a stark contrast to the Morrison family dynamic. The game began with standard competitive energy, both families answering questions and accumulating points through the first round. However, the Morrison family's internal tensions became increasingly visible to everyone in the studio as the game progressed. During the second round, Linda Morrison gave an answer that was not on the board. This is a common occurrence in Family Feud and typically prompts supportive responses from family members encouraging the player and maintaining positive team morale. Derek Morrison's response was neither supportive nor encouraging. He made an exaggerated expression of frustration, threw his hands up dramatically, and said loud enough for the microphones to clearly capture, "That was the stupidest answer I have ever heard. Why would you even say that?" The studio audience reacted with audible discomfort, and Linda's face flushed with embarrassment as she returned to stand with her family. Steve Harvey paused, his expression serious as he looked at Derek Morrison. "Hey man, we don't talk to our family members like that here. She took her best shot. That is what the game is about." Derek's response was defensive and dismissive. "I'm just keeping it real, Steve. If we are going to win, people need to bring better answers than that." Steve's voice took on a firmer tone. "Keeping it real and being disrespectful are two different things. Let us keep this fun and supportive, all right." Derek shrugged, offering no genuine acknowledgement of the boundary Steve had established. The game continued, and in the third round, Eleanor Morrison had her turn at the podium. The question asked contestants to name something people do to relax after work. Eleanor, speaking thoughtfully, answered, "Reading a book." It was a perfectly reasonable response that reflected her own habits and those of many people her age. The answer appeared on the board as the number 4 response with 11 points. As Eleanor returned to her family, Derek made another disparaging comment, this time directed at his mother. "Reading? Really, Mom? Nobody does that anymore. That is such an old person answer." He laughed at his own comment, apparently finding his mockery of his elderly mother amusing. Steve Harvey's reaction was immediate and unequivocal. He set down his note cards, walked across the stage to stand directly in front of Derek Morrison, and addressed him with an intensity that silenced the entire studio. "Hold on, stop right there. Did you just disrespect your mother on my stage?" Derek, perhaps not fully grasping the severity of the situation or the depth of Steve's disapproval, attempted to deflect with humor. "Come on, Steve, it is just a joke. My mom knows I am kidding around." Eleanor Morrison's voice, quiet but clear, cut through her son's excuse. "No, Derek, I do not know that. You have been making comments like this my whole life, and it hurts every time." The rawness of her statement, the pain evident in her voice, created a moment of profound silence in the studio. Ashley Morrison put her arm around her grandmother, her own eyes glistening with tears as she witnessed her grandmother finally voicing what had apparently been suppressed for decades. Steve Harvey's response would become one of the most replayed and discussed moments in Family Feud history. His voice carried both anger and disappointment as he addressed Derek Morrison directly. "Let me tell you something right now. That woman standing over there is your mother. She gave you life. She raised you. She loved you when nobody else would. And you are going to stand on this stage and mock her for giving an answer in a game. You are going to disrespect the woman who sacrificed for you, who I guarantee went without so you could have, who probably supported your dreams even when you did not deserve her support." Derek attempted to interrupt, but Steve raised his hand, his expression making clear that he was not finished. "I am not done talking. You have disrespected your wife. You have disrespected your mother. You have been treating your family like they are beneath you since you walked onto this stage. That tells me everything I need to know about your character, and I am telling you right now that it is not acceptable here." The studio audience responded with applause, supporting Steve's defense of the Morrison family members who had been subjected to Derek's disrespectful treatment. Derek's face reddened, his discomfort evident as he faced public accountability for behavior that had apparently gone unchallenged in private settings for years. He made one final attempt to minimize his actions. "You are making too big a deal out of this. My family knows how I am. This is just how we communicate." Linda Morrison's voice, stronger than it had been all day, contradicted her husband's claim. "No, Derek, this is how you communicate. The rest of us have been trying to deal with it for years." The truth in her statement resonated through the studio, and the other Morrison family members nodded in agreement, a unified front emerging as they recognized the opportunity to finally name the pattern they had all endured. Steve Harvey made a decision that reflected both his values and his authority as host. "Here is what is going to happen. Derek, you are done. You are leaving this stage right now. I'm not going to allow you to continue treating your family this way, and I am not going to reward this behavior by letting you keep playing." Derek's expression shifted from embarrassment to anger as he processed what Steve had said. "You cannot kick me off. I am the head of this family. They need me to win." Steve's response was swift and definitive. "They do not need you. What they need is respect, and you are clearly not capable of providing that. Your family is going to continue playing without you, and we are going to see how they do when they are not being criticized and belittled every step of the way." He gestured to production staff, who moved to escort Derek from the stage. As Derek was removed, he continued to protest, insisting that Steve was overreacting and that his family would fail without his leadership. With Derek Morrison removed from the stage, the atmosphere transformed immediately. The remaining Morrison family members stood together, and Steve addressed them with compassion and support. "I apologize that you had to experience that publicly. But I want you to know that how he has been treating you is not okay. It has never been okay, and you deserve better." Eleanor Morrison, tears streaming down her face, thanked Steve for defending her. Linda Morrison expressed gratitude for someone finally holding her husband accountable for his behavior. Ashley Morrison spoke about years of enduring her father's criticism and how liberating it felt to have someone in authority validate that his treatment of the family was unacceptable. Steve made an unconventional decision regarding the continuation of the game. "We are going to finish this game with 4 players instead of 5. You are going to play for yourselves, not for him. Whatever you win, it is yours. And I want you to know that you are valuable, your contributions matter, and you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity." The audience responded with a standing ovation, recognizing the significance of the moment that transcended entertainment and touched on fundamental issues of family dynamics and personal dignity. The game continued with the 4 remaining Morrison family members competing against the Chen family. The transformation in the Morrison family's energy and performance was remarkable and immediate. Without Derek's constant criticism and belittlement, Linda answered questions with confidence. Eleanor contributed thoughtful responses without hesitation. Ashley played with enthusiasm rather than anxiety, and Marcus demonstrated leadership capabilities that had been suppressed by his brother's domineering presence. The family's obvious relief and newfound cohesion created an emotional narrative that resonated powerfully with everyone watching. The Morrison family, despite playing with only 4 members, ended up winning the game. Their victory felt significant not merely because they had accumulated more points than the opposing family, but because they had proven Derek's assertion that they needed him was fundamentally false. During the celebration, Steve emphasized this point. "You just showed that you are stronger without someone tearing you down than you ever were with someone who claimed to be leading you. Remember this moment. Remember how it feels to be valued and respected." The episode aired 6 weeks after the taping, and the public response was immediate and overwhelmingly supportive of Steve Harvey's decision to remove Derek Morrison from the stage. Social media platforms filled with reactions from viewers who praised Steve for defending the Morrison family members and for refusing to allow disrespectful behavior to continue unchallenged. Mental health professionals and family therapists used the incident as a teaching example about emotional abuse, the normalization of disrespect within families, and the importance of establishing boundaries with people who demonstrate patterns of belittling and controlling behavior. Domestic violence organizations noted that while Derek's behavior did not constitute physical abuse, his pattern of public belittlement and dismissal of his family members reflected emotional abuse tactics that often go unrecognized and unchallenged. The incident sparked important conversations about the various forms that family mistreatment can take and the cumulative damage caused by consistent disrespect and criticism, even when delivered without physical violence or overt aggression. The Morrison family members, particularly Linda and Eleanor, became unexpected advocates for addressing emotional abuse and establishing healthy family dynamics. In interviews conducted several months after the incident, Linda Morrison spoke candidly about her marriage and the years she had spent minimizing her husband's behavior. "I told myself that Derek was just direct, that he had high standards, that he did not mean to hurt our feelings. But watching that episode and seeing our family dynamic from the outside perspective made me realize I had been making excuses for treatment that was damaging all of us." Eleanor Morrison discussed the particular pain of being disrespected by an adult child and the difficulty of confronting that disrespect when cultural expectations emphasize maintaining family harmony. "I am from a generation where you did not talk about these things. You endured. You made peace. You told yourself that keeping the family together was more important than your own feelings. But Steve Harvey standing up for me on that stage made me realize that my feelings do matter, that I deserve respect from my children, and that staying silent about mistreatment does not actually keep families together in any meaningful way." Ashley Morrison pursued therapy to address the long-term impact of growing up with a father whose criticism and dismissiveness had shaped her self-perception and confidence. She spoke publicly about the process of healing from years of emotional invalidation and the importance of recognizing that parental love, when consistently accompanied by disrespect and belittlement, creates confusion and damage that requires intentional work to overcome. The Morrison family's journey following the Family Feud incident included significant changes in their relationships and life circumstances. Linda Morrison ultimately filed for divorce from Derek after attempts at couples counseling revealed his unwillingness to genuinely acknowledge the harm his behavior had caused or to commit to meaningful change in how he communicated with and treated others. She spoke about this decision with clarity and self-awareness. "I realized that I had been prioritizing the idea of keeping my marriage intact over my actual well-being and that of my children." The Family Feud incident was a catalyst for recognizing that some patterns are so deeply entrenched that hoping for change is not the same as actually seeing change happen. Derek Morrison initially responded to the public criticism and family consequences with defensiveness and blame, insisting that Steve Harvey had overreacted and that his family was being overly sensitive. However, sustained professional and social consequences, including damage to his business reputation and the loss of important relationships, eventually motivated him to engage in individual therapy. His therapist helped him recognize that his pattern of treating others with disrespect stemmed from deep insecurity and a need to establish superiority as a defense against his own feelings of inadequacy. The therapeutic process was lengthy and difficult, requiring Derek to confront aspects of his personality and behavior that he had previously defended and rationalized. Steve Harvey addressed the incident and its aftermath during several episodes of his talk show, using the platform to discuss broader issues of family respect, emotional abuse, and the importance of holding people accountable for how they treat others. He emphasized that entertainment should not come at the cost of allowing harmful behavior to go unchallenged. "When I am hosting Family Feud, I am not just running a game show. I am in a position where families are in my care for that time we are together. If someone is being mistreated in front of me, I have a responsibility to address it. That is not about being a hero or making a statement. It is about basic human decency." The incident influenced how production teams across various television programs approached family dynamics and contestant behavior. Clearer protocols were established for identifying and addressing situations where contestants were being emotionally abused or mistreated by other family members, with an emphasis on prioritizing the well-being and dignity of vulnerable individuals over the entertainment value of dramatic moments. Training programs for hosts and producers incorporated discussions about recognizing signs of emotional abuse and implementing appropriate interventions that protect participants while maintaining the integrity of the program. Family therapists and relationship counselors incorporated the Family Feud incident into their practice, using it as a concrete example to help clients recognize patterns of disrespect and emotional abuse in their own relationships. The moment when Linda Morrison said, "You have been making comments like this my whole life, and it hurts every time," became particularly powerful for clients struggling to name and validate their own experiences of being chronically disrespected by family members. Educational institutions utilize the incident in courses on communication, family systems, and media ethics, prompting discussions about the normalization of disrespect, the role of bystanders in challenging harmful behavior, and the potential for public platforms to either reinforce or challenge problematic social dynamics. Students analyzed the incident from multiple angles, considering Steve Harvey's decision-making, the family members' responses, and the broader cultural implications of televising and discussing family dysfunction. The long-term impact of the incident extended to all the Morrison family members in different ways. Linda Morrison rebuilt her life with a focus on her nursing career and her relationship with her children, establishing boundaries and expectations for how she would accept being treated in all her relationships. Linda Morrison became involved in support groups for older adults dealing with disrespect from adult children, finding purpose in helping others recognize that age does not obligate them to accept mistreatment from their offspring. Ashley Morrison completed her graduate education and became a therapist specializing in helping young adults recover from emotionally invalidating family environments. Marcus Morrison, freed from the shadow of his domineering brother, developed his own business and discovered leadership capabilities he had not previously recognized in himself. Derek Morrison's journey proved more complicated and less triumphant, reflecting the reality that profound behavioral change requires sustained effort and genuine commitment that not all individuals are willing or able to maintain. While therapy helped him develop some insight into his patterns, the damage to his relationships proved difficult to repair. His relationship with his daughter remained strained, His divorce from Linda was finalized, and his relationship with his mother improved only marginally. The consequences of decades of disrespectful behavior could not be undone quickly or easily, serving as a sobering reminder that how we treat people matters and that some harm, once done, cannot be fully remedied. As this significant story demonstrates, the way we speak to and about our family members reveals our character more clearly than any achievement or success, and creating an environment where people feel valued and respected is far more important than winning any game or maintaining any facade of family unity built on suppressed pain and normalized mistreatment. If this story resonated with you, if you believe that families deserve to treat one another with dignity, and that disrespect should not be tolerated regardless of the setting, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Share this with someone who might need to hear that they deserve respect. That disrespect is not a communication style, but a choice that causes harm, and that it is never too late to establish boundaries or to demand better treatment from those who claim to care for us. The Morrison family walked onto a game show stage with decades of dysfunction normalized and unchallenged. But they walked off having experienced what it felt like to be defended, valued, and seen as worthy of respect. And that experience became the foundation for rebuilding their lives with dignity and authentic connection.